Hey Tropic Boots, how are you all? So, every now and then I get a hormonal breakout, and that today is one of those days. So I wanted to show you how I deal with that when that happens, okay? So what I do is, obviously you can see I get redness in here. When I have a hormonal breakout, I get redness like around my nose. I get spots on my chin. It's basically my T-zone. And it just get a little bit of rosacea, and it just, whenever I feel like under the weather, and I have been under the weather recently, my face, it comes out in my face. So what I have done this morning is I have used my smoothing cleanser, and instead of my normal moisturiser, I have used the Tamanu cream, which is a sensitive skin saviour. It's organic tamanu oil. It's got a lippy butter and vitamin E, and what that basically does is it soothes all the skin, like the inflamed areas. It takes down the inflammation and the redness, and it actually targets, I find that it targets my spots as well and makes them a lot less angry. But obviously in the interim period, as my Tamanu balm, my Tamanu cream is working, I want to cover up the redness. I don't want to irritate it anymore by using products which are going to irritate it, or makeup which will irritate it. So I'm going to use my Tropic makeup, obviously, and I just want to show you how good the coverage is on this makeup. So this is my Barely Nude Mineral Foundation. Now normally I would use the BB cream first, but because my skin is irritated at the moment, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to clog it up or do anything like that to put more layers on. I just want it to be able to just be really, really fresh, almost like I'm not wearing makeup but covering up the redness. So I'm just going to use my mineral foundation, and I want to show you the coverage that this gives when you're having a breakout. So let's start from here. So I'm using my which brush is this? Oh, this is the powder brush, and this is my mineral foundation. I just want to show you how good this is at taking away the redness. Can you see that already? What a difference that's just made already. So now I'm just gonna put it on the rest of my chin. And actually with this mineral foundation, you can move it around. It moves around the face really freely, so it doesn't hardly look like you're wearing anything, which is just brilliant. Love it. Little bit in the eye there. See, it's taken out all that redness out of my skin. It's brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love this makeup, and it hasn't taken me ages to do it. It just goes on really, really easily. A little bit on the forehead as well. So that is just a tiny little bit of mineral foundation. What a difference that's made already. Do you see? It's taken out all that redness. Now, because I'm having a particularly bad day, obviously you can still see there is the odd little bit of blemish showing. So what I use for this is I will actually use my, let me find it, in my palette, my cover up. Can you see that? It's this one here. So this is actually the Undercover in shade 2, which actually goes along with the Barely Nude. And I just put a little bit on the brush, and I will, hang on, I don't know if you can see this here. It's really hard to do it in the mirror. Look, I just put that there, and then I spread it out. By the way, this brush is not a Tropic brush, but actually Tropic don't do a brush that I found that actually has this like little fan bit on. So it's the only brush I use that isn't Tropic, but it totally works. Now can you see how that sand concealer just seems to just sink into the skin? Once you've put it on and then you push it into the mineral foundation, it just disappears. See that? And it doesn't leave like a mark on the skin, like where it looks like it's been put on. It's great, right? Now I've got a little bit of redness on the end of my nose, so I'm just going to use a little bit of concealer there. Look, watch this. And this is why, even on days when underneath I know I'm having a bad skin day, because I've always had problems with my skin actually, and Tropic has helped immensely. But there are still days when my hormones just do not play ball. And when my hormones are not playing ball, my skin doesn't stand a chance. And it's just one of those things that I've kind of learnt to live with. But I tell you what, it's made it so much more manageable since I've been using Tropic. Because it used to be absolutely horrendous, my skin. I used to have to go on really tough, what they called? They were tricycline or something. They were like these really awful acne pills to actually stop the skin forming the spots. But it used to have a really bad effect. It worked on the skin, but it had really bad side effects. So now I have put that on, which is on now. So all that has gone. And then I will just put one other little layer of my mineral foundation. Just a little bit, just a little tad on the nose area where I put some of that. See how well that colours that in? I love it. So good. There we go. And I'm ready. Whether I want to put makeup on the rest of my face, I'm ready to face the day. I can put a little bit of my blusher on there. The blusher that I tend to use just to lighten my face up is I actually use a bronzer instead of a blusher. And I do use my Tropic brush for this one. This is our precision face brush, and it's double-ended, which is really great because I use one end for my bronzer, which I use on my cheeks, and then I use this end for my highlighter. If you want to know what these colours are, I can let you know. But I find that because I use a bronzer instead of a blusher, it's just a little bit less harsh. And it just gives me a nice sun-kissed natural glow rather than like a blusher colour, if you know what I mean. Like if I was going out in the evening, I would wear a coloured blusher. But if it's just the daytime and I really want to have that natural not wearing any makeup look, I will just wear this blusher. Bronzer even. Blusher, what am I talking about? And then I can always put a little bit of highlighter on there. Now I don't put much on. I just highlight the cheek and that cheek there. And I also put a little bit on the tip of my nose, and I run some just down the bridge there. You see? Just gives it a nice little incandescent shine. Now I can put some mascara on and my brows and everything else if I want to, or I could just go out looking natural. Even though I have makeup on, it looks really natural, right? And all those spots that you saw at the beginning of this video are now gone. So if you would like to try one of our palettes, they're amazing, our little palettes. You can literally, that's my eyeshadow palette. I have 3 because I'm greedy. So I actually do have 3 of them. But what's great about these palettes is you can actually replace the one thing you need to change. So you just pop it out, and when it runs out, you just buy a new one and you pop it in. So that's my blusher there. That's my Blush Crush, which I use on my nights out. And there are all my lipsticks. And then in this one here, I've got a different combination here. So I've gone for a large and 3 mediums. And that's got my cover up, my setting powder, my highlighter and my blusher. And I even have one that's just all got the little ones in it, which is all my eyeshadows. If you would like one of these palettes, let me know. You are very welcome to come to my house. I have the colour book with all the different colours in. And you can have a look through, use all the colours and see which ones suit. And then you can get an entire palette in whatever configuration you want, and all the makeup included. Makeup of your choice, you can get anything you want. Eyeshadows, lipsticks, blushers, bronzers, setting powders, anything that fits in there. You get the whole lot for £68. Amazing, right? And you don't end up with a load of makeup that you don't use. Like when you go to Boots and you buy an eyeshadow palette and you only use 2 of them, but you've got 12 colours in there and then you have to throw the rest away. You don't get any of that wastage because you only buy what you need and you replace it when it's ready. Anyway, If you would like to find out more about the foundation that I've used today, or the vegan brushes, or the palette, just message me and I will be happy to help you with that. And if you want any advice, if you also do have acne prone skin or anything, I am the queen of knowing about how to deal with that. So I've helped so many people in the past with their blemish issues, and not just help counteracting the blemishes, but once they've got their skin under control, if they get the odd blemish, how to cover it well as well. So do just send me a text message. I'm happy to help. Okay, thank you for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye.